Imagine this. You're standing on the side of the road, humiliated. A police officer is smirking, mocking your uniform, laughing at you in front of strangers. He thinks you're a fraud. He thinks you're wearing a costume. He thinks you don't belong. But then your phone rings. And when you answer, the voice on the other end introduces themselves with 3 words that change everything. This is the Pentagon. That officer's smirk, it vanishes in an instant, because now he realizes who you really are. It was a humid afternoon in Arlington, Virginia. Cars zipped past the highway, commuters eager to get home. And there, pulled off to the side, stood Colonel James Walker. Walker wasn't just any man. He was a decorated officer in the United States military, 25 years of service, multiple tours overseas, a man who had given everything for his country. But today, he wasn't in camouflage. He wasn't in combat gear. He was wearing his dress uniform, navy blue, brass buttons, insignia pinned with precision. He had just left a meeting at the Pentagon and was heading home when his car had a minor breakdown. Nothing serious, just a flat tire. He pulled over, opened his trunk, and began working. That's when he noticed a police cruiser slowing down, pulling up behind him. At first, he thought, good, maybe this officer will offer some help. But the man who stepped out didn't come to help. Well, the officer sneered, walking up with a swagger. What do we have here? A Halloween costume in June. Walker looked up, startled. Excuse me? The officer pointed at his uniform. This little getup. Who are you trying to fool? Stolen valor. Huh? You know it's a crime to impersonate military personnel. Walker calmly replied, Sir, I'm not impersonating anyone. I am a colonel in the United States Army. But the officer laughed, loudly. Oh, sure you are. And I'm the president. That's not even the right ribbon order. That jacket? It looks like you got off eBay. Other drivers slowed, staring at the scene. Some even chuckled. To them, it looked like a wannabe in uniform being busted by the cops. The officer didn't stop. He began circling Walker, taunting him. What's your game? Huh? Try and get free meals? Discounts at Applebee's? Walker kept a composure, his voice steady. Officer, you're making a mistake. If you'll allow me to show you my identification. But before he could finish, the cop snapped. Hands where I can see them. Don't reach for anything. Walker froze, stunned by the aggression. This wasn't just a misunderstanding. It was turning into a humiliation. The officer radioed in. Yeah, I've got a guy here in a fake Army uniform. Possible stolen valor. Going to bring him in. Walker tried again, calm but firm. Sir, I just came from the Pentagon. If you'll call the Department of Defense. The officer scoffed. The Pentagon? Sure, buddy. Next you'll tell me you're best friends with the Secretary of Defense. The situation drew a small crowd. Passers-by recorded on their phones. The decorated colonel, who had once commanded troops overseas, was now standing on the roadside like a criminal. And then it happened. Walker's phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen. The caller ID read, Pentagon Operations. The officer noticed. Who's calling you? Your imaginary general? He mocked, but Walker didn't flinch. He calmly pressed answer. A sharp voice came through the line. Urgent. Direct. Colonel Walker? This is General Lawson. We need you at headquarters immediately. Situation room briefing in 30 minutes. Your presence is non-negotiable. The officer's laughter died instantly. He froze, eyes wide, the words general and situation room hanging heavy in the air. Walker responded crisply. Yes, sir. Understood. I'll be there shortly. He ended the call and looked at the officer. Silence. The crowd, once amused, was now whispering. Wait, was this man actually who he said he was? Walker finally reached into his breast pocket, slowly, deliberately, and pulled out a leather wallet. He flipped it open. Inside, his official military identification, his rank, his service record, his clearance. The officer's face drained of color. His swagger evaporated. He stammered, I didn't know. I thought. Walker's voice was calm, but sharp as steel. You thought wrong. You mock my uniform, my service, and my sacrifice. Do you understand what that means? Men have died in this uniform, and you treated it like a costume. The police sergeant arrived moments later. He pulled the officer aside, clearly furious as Walker calmly explained the situation. Witnesses came forward. Videos were already spreading online. The officer who had mocked Walker, suspended pending investigation. His reputation ruined. Meanwhile, Walker drove straight to the Pentagon, his phone buzzing nonstop with messages from friends who had already seen clips of the roadside confrontation going viral. By the end of the week, the Pentagon issued a quiet but firm statement. Respect for the uniform is non-negotiable. And the officer who thought he was exposing a fraud, he became a cautionary tale, not for catching stolen valor, but for failing to recognize real valor when it stood before him. Colonel Walker never asked for recognition. He never demanded applause. But that day proved something simple yet powerful. Respect should never be withheld until rank is revealed. So now I leave you with this question. If the phone hadn't rung at that exact moment, if the Pentagon hadn't called, how far would that officer have gone in mocking and arresting a man who had spent his life protecting the very freedoms he took for granted? And more importantly, how many others have faced humiliation simply because someone refused to look deeper than uniform?